The sunset is a lovely thing. It makes me wear a great big grin. As all the colours burst through the sky, reality is wearing thin. Twilight follows and shadows grow. The lights in the sky are turned down low. As darkness comes, you must hold on to everything you think you know. A man sat eating fish and chips on the seawall. The sun grew low in the sky and began to turn it a multitude of vivid colours. Occasionally seagulls would sweep low over the man's head as he silently ate, but he ignored them, lost in his own thoughts. He watched as the sun grew lower in the sky and the colours grew, reflected off bands of wispy, silky clouds that stretched across the sky in a last blaze of colour. As the colours spread and bursting through, the boundaries between realities thinned. Different realities began quietly and insidiously to seep into each other from one world to the next. The man finished his fish and chips just as the sun finally disappeared behind the horizon. And as he looked out in the fading twilight, the sea surface seemed to take on a slick, silvery skin, almost viscous and oily, whilst it continued to crash repeatedly on the rocks below his feet. The crashing of the waves and the menacing sucking sound as the water was drawn back down through the rocks below him rose up, and it swirled around the man, seeming all at once to be outside him and within him, physical and ethereal. He felt as if it lifted him off the ground, although he remained rooted to the spot. His focus was drawn fully out to the rolling sea, darker and edgier in the fading light. Shadows spread, and tendrils of darkness grew into each other. The sea called to him. It reached into his mind and drew long, thin threads of thought out into the sea, out into the darkening, silvery waters. The sea had him now, though still he sat on the sea wall. His mind was full of the sight and the sound and the smell and the spirit of the sea. It looked so enticing, to just slip beneath the surface and be part of it. He was entranced. He pushed off the sea wall and dropped to the base of it, water lapping at his feet. He walked confidently over the rocks, stepping down them into the sea, not feeling the cold, not feeling the wet, not thinking as the waters came to his waist, to his chest, to his neck. The sea had chosen him to join it, and he was powerless, indeed had been powerless from the first moment the sea set its sights on him. Pulled onwards by those threads of thought that the sea drew from his mind, he took the last step, plunged into the sea, slipping beneath the surface and being drawn down. As he was pulled down deeper and deeper into the sea, he was erased from the world that he left behind. Just as the sea had reached into his mind and drew the long thin threads out, it now reached out into his past reality, finding all his connections to the world, unravelling them, gathering them up together, pulling them back and dragging them down with him into the depths of the sea. No record of him, no memory of him, no trace of him remained, as if he had never existed. Except, on top of the seawall, one greasy fish and chip wrapper rustled in the breeze.